Okay, let's get into it. Welcome to Hello Dave. It's Monday, so let's take a look at the news in Elite and Star Citizen. We're gonna start this week off even in Star Citizen, as we have a lot of new stuff happening there. This Saturday we had Star Citizen Con. This year it was a digital event with a number of different talks and panels and stuff like that going on, talking about many different aspects of the game, looking at what's going to come in the future, looking at Pyro, looking at some new ships that were going to be announced, and looking at the status of previously announced ships and see how far they are down the developing pipeline, those kind of things. For the Pyro stuff, they had a talk where they basically went over every single planet that's going to be in Pyro, took some looks at some of the stages of the planets. We could see what kind of biomes we're looking at, what kind of environments we're going to look at, and they do look amazing, I must say. I am very much looking forward to going in and exploring that system, as it should be much more of an exploration focused kind of gameplay that we can try in that system. Stanton is, I think, relatively small compared to what some of the other systems are going to be, and relatively high secure. So there's going to be like lots of police and stuff like that. Pyro, I think, is going to be a lot more of a frontier feel to it, with some larger distances between planets, opening up for more exploration type, more like smaller factions here and there, not as like centralized security services, those kind of things. So should be fun. But so far, at least, we had a look at some of the planets and they do look amazing. Really looking forward to getting my hands on that when that comes out. But they also announced 3 new ships coming out of the Crusader lineup of ships for the Crusader manufacturer. And these are some smaller variants of ships that we kind of already have. It is the C1, the A1, and the E1. The C1, of course, being the smaller version of the C2, where the C1 is, of course, a cargo ship coming from Crusader. We have the A1, which is a bomber, which has some smaller bombs compared to the A2. And then we have the E1, or what they also in the video refer to as VIP1. This is like a space limousine, so this is going to be a smaller, but yet a competitor to the to something like the Phoenix Constellation Phoenix. I really love these like luxury liners. Big fan of the 890. I like the Phoenix. There's some design choices in the Phoenix that I feel like that could be made better, but really looking forward to the E1. That's actually the one that I'm most excited about. I will have a dedicated video coming out hopefully next week or this week. I'm recording this Sunday, so for you this will be this week. Hopefully I'm gonna have a video coming out where we're gonna be looking at these 3 new ships. What are they all about? What do I think about them? Because I think in some places they made some really nice design choices, but there's definitely also places where I think they kind of missed the mark, and they kind of like, I don't know, don't really have a whole lot of points to them. But well, we'll see. Video will be out, hopefully, fingers crossed, later this week. But there are more stuff in Star Citizen, as we also have a speed nerf of a lot of the ground vehicles. I guess this is all of them, it's more of a speed rebalance, but basically most ground vehicles have had their speed reduced to kind of slow things down when we are traveling across the surface. Not massively, but just general across the board, a slowdown. I think only the Greg had Rock, the surface mining car, the small of them, got a small speed increase. Not that it really matters, as people don't really drive long distances in these. And most people, when they use them, they kind of carry them around in a ship, and then they land the ship right next to the mining spot and then take them out and mine and drive them back in. So I don't really see these being a big change to that vehicle. Speed nerf of some of the other ones definitely is going to be something. But it's been a general thing we've seen also with spaceships, that CIG is slowing things down, and they're working a lot on also rebalancing combat, spaceship combat, I should clarify, because they want to get away from these super high speed fights where you end up in these jousting matches where speed is just the all important factor. And that means that the distances, you very quickly, in a few seconds, you are outside the effective combat range of most weapons. And that means you get into these jousting matches where people, they fly out, they fly in towards each other, they get as many shots as they can as they zoom past each other, then they flip around, they do these like figure of 8, like where they just zoom by each other and well, yeah, try to kill each other. So I think in order to try, by slowing it down, they also try to like pull distances in so people stay in closer proximity to each other when you are fighting, meaning that firepower, continuous firepower, is going to be a much bigger factor, and be able to take sustained damage is going to be a much bigger factor. Compared to where these jousting matches, where the meta have often just been like you need to have huge amount of alpha damage when you come in for these joustings, but also shields with fast regens have been highly favored because obviously you have all this time when you're coming out and you're turning around where your shields have time to regain. So it's going to change things up, and I know shields right now is in a weird place where they're also rebalancing that, but I think it's part of the whole combat rebalance that they're doing. But anyway, it was kind of a tangent. I got out on there. As I said, speed nerf. But talking about speed, we also got a new vehicle. We got the new Greycat STV, which is like imagine like a beach buggy coming out from Greycat. Quite a fun little car. It doesn't have a lot of features. It apparently does have a small hangar, which didn't manage to find. I posted a video about it on yesterday, where me and Dunkel, we played around with it and just took it out for a spin and had a laugh, and it was quite hilarious. Ended up everything blowing up. Go watch the video if you're more interested in seeing that thing in action. Again, it's kind of like the Cyclones. They're fun to have, fun to drive around. They don't serve a whole lot of purpose yet, other than, well, having a fun car to drive around. We'll see what happens when we get the new racetrack, which I believe is coming in 3.18, where they're adding like an indoor, like a go-kart track that's been designed that you can go. I don't think we're going to be able to drive the STVs there. I think it's going to be the PTVs we're going to be able to drive on those. But it could be fun if we could get, maybe in the future, get different tracks for different sizes of vehicles, different speed ranges, those kind of things. But regardless, yeah, new ground vehicle, if you're interested, Greycat STV. It's already in the store, and else get a hold of me on Discord. I'll be more than happy to sport it in for you if you want to take it out for a spin. Okay, moving over to Elite. We have more StarGoids. So far, we've been tracking up to 3 separate StarGoids, currently making their way towards the bubble, or more specifically Sol, which seems to be like the intersection point between all their different routes. 2 more have been discovered. We're now up to 5. They are all still coming from like kind of the same direction, coming from like outside. It's like a 90-ish degree angle from outside the galaxy. Not really outside, but the outer edge of the galaxy. Funnily enough, in the direction of the cold 70 sector. They all seem to be originating from out in that general direction. But yeah, 5 of them are being tracked right now, and there are rumors, at least some people are claiming, that they are detecting even more signals. I've seen up to 15 signals being claimed by some people. So potentially there could be a lot more of them out there. And as I've been talking about in Hello Dave before, after I think when the second one was discovered, if there's 2, there's likely more. And I don't think we spotted all of them yet. I think there's going to be a lot of them. And they're probably going to arrive sometime next month here in November, because we know that there's going to be this massive law event happening. Frontier has spoiled that for us already. We don't know what the event is, but I think looking at the speed at which these StarGoids are approaching the bubble, looking at where we believe their final destination is in the vicinity around Sol, looking at, yeah, all that, it all kind of lines up with that the arrival of the StarGoids in the bubble is going to be what's going to kick off this massive story event. It's pretty well documented by now that these StarGoids are Thargoid in nature. And again, they have also been, through unfortunate means, have been confirmed to be some kind of like Thargoid mothership, some kind of Thargoid Titan kind of thing. What this will mean, if they will spawn some kind of new conflict zones where we're going to be basically fighting with human capital ships, and this is going to be the Thargoid capital ship variant we're going to see. I don't know, are we going to see on foot Thargoids? Are we going to be able to board these things, go in and pew and shoot up some goids? I don't know. We will see. It's all coming in November when the StarGoids arrive. That leads me on to the live stream. Tomorrow we're going to be playing some Star Citizen. Been having an absolute blast the last couple of days. Been trying to focus more on my on-foot combat, because it's a part of the game that I haven't really paid much attention to. I'm not really good at first-person shooters, to be honest, but I've been having a lot of fun with it, playing with different weapons, playing with different loadouts. We'll see what the game throws at us. As always, it's going to be one of those where we're just gonna jump in. We're gonna see what the game has for us. Maybe go and see if we can like go and investigate some wrecks, where we can find some rare loot, those kind of things. That's always really interesting. So that might be something I want to go and do. There is still this Halloween event going on where there is like a special helmet we can go and find. Could be fun to see we could find it. I would really like to find one. But I have a few ideas for where we want to go and what we should do. So I'll go and I'll check that. But as always, that's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be at 7 o'clock GMT, and I'm going to be live streaming here both on YouTube as well as over on Twitch. I hope I'll see you guys there. That's it for this week. Thanks all for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys in space.